Study Session 8, Unitary System of Government. Introduction. In this study session, we shall be looking at the conceptual definition, features, advantages, and disadvantages of unitary system. Unitary system of government is that one which the levels of government are constitutionally administered under a single unit and one constitutionally established legislature. At the end of this study session, you should be able to define the term unitary system, identify the features of unitary system, and discuss the merits and shortcomings of unitary government. Definition of unitary system. Unitary system of government involves centralization of political power in a single authority, but notwithstanding, such political power of government may as well be transferred to lower levels, regionally or locally elected assemblies, governors and mayors, but the central government retains the principal right to recall such delegated power. According to Kapoor in 1950, page 399, unitary system of government can be described as a single integrated system of government for the exercise of all powers. The legal sovereign conveys all the powers of government in the first instance upon a single central government. The central government may exercise all these powers by itself or create political subdivisions and delegate to them such powers as it may deem wise to delegate. The central government is competent to change their boundaries as well as power as its pleasure by ordinary legislative enactment. From the foregoing definition, you will agree with me that there is devolution of power under the unitary system, and that the regions can be given powers which can be withdrawn by the central government. Additionally, such states or regions, upon losing their powers through legislative enactment of the government at the center or the executive declarations of the central government, have no moral right or legal ground to protest against such withdrawal of autonomy. Other definitions of unitary system include: unitary form of government is one which all legislative and executive authority is vested in a single legislature and a single government. It has also been described as one in which the habitual exercise of supreme legislative authority is carried out by one central power. Another definition is that unitary system of government is a form of government in which power is held by one central authority. Thus, Manis in 1995 noted that powers that are exercised by the states or regions are only delegated by the central authority, and it can be withdrawn by the central government without prior notice. Powers delegated to regions are basically for administrative purposes, and the size and lifespan of political power given or transferred to various regions may vary from one region to another. Reflection. In unitary system of government, political powers of the regions emanate from the central political authority or government. These powers devolve to regions from central government, and the regions do not have original existence of their own. They are the creation of the central government and may be altered at its will. This is according to Kapoor too. Meanwhile, if you define unitary system of government as one which the supreme legislative authority exclusively and absolutely dwell in central political authority or government, you are right. It is important to note that sometimes in some political systems or countries, regional governments can be given autonomous powers to make their own laws apart from those made through the central legislative enactment. For instance, under the Act of 1919 in India, the provinces enjoyed exclusive rights to legislate on several issues that bordered them outside the jurisdictional control of the central government through a constitutional political arrangement. Reflection, irony, unitary system in federal states. It is often presumed that it is only in political systems where there is no constitutional sharing of political power between the central government and other component units of the state that we have unitary system of government. Nonetheless, it is more interesting to note that many of these states that operate within unitary framework are federalists. The fact is that many federalist states have two strong central governments and usually experience predatory relationship between the central political authority and state governments. We are all aware that in political systems like Nigeria, central government arrogates to itself too much power, even beyond the power accorded to her in the Constitution. States or regional governments are often unitary because most power of the local government is delegated to the latter by the former, that is, state or regional governments. The laws coming from the regional or state assembly override the legislative enactment of the local government. Also, the local council authority can have its power diminished, increased, or withdrawn by the state or regional government, especially through legislative enactment. Therefore, the state or regional legislature can dissolve the executive council of the local government or may even allow the state government to take over local government administration. Features of unitary government. 1. Concentration of power at the center, that is, central authority. 2. The Constitution only recognizes the central government in control of the state power. 3. The regions or states lack the power to make laws on their own. 4. Laws are made for the whole state by the central parliament. 5. The powers being exercised by the regions or states are delegated to them by the central government. 6. The central power can increase or reduce or even withdraw the delegated power to the regions or states without any prior notice. And 7. The regions or states are subordinate to the central authority. Merits and demerits of unitary government. The advantages of unitary government include: 1. It is a very effective system. The centralization of power often makes the regional or state governments to always be effective in their performance because they know that the central political authority has constitutional power to withdraw the power given to them. Therefore, regions or states will always be on their toes to carry out their functions religiously because their administrative performance may determine their continued patronage by the central government, which can reduce or increase or terminate the regional powers at will. 2. It is flexible. This is because unitary system can easily modify and adjust the organizational structure of the state or country if the need arises in order to ensure effective administration. 3. It is cheap and simple. It avoids duplication of political institutions which may likely be expensive to operate. Unitary system is less cumbersome than federalist system because power is centralized and no region or state can claim any exclusive power, which makes the problem of intergovernmental rivalry unlikely. 4. It ensures quick decision making. 5. there is also unified administration. This does not prevent wasteful application of government funds, but also promotes unity in government through uniformity of laws and policies in the administration of the entire nation. The disadvantages of unitary government are hereby listed below. 1. It undermines effective administration of local government. This is because political administration in contemporary time demands that central governments have to tackle so many complex problems, national and international, that they have neither the initiative nor time to devote to local affairs. 2. It can only be operated in small countries and where multiplicity of ethnic groups is less visible. There is possibility that it will fail in countries that have extremely heterogeneous groups. 3. Uniformity of laws in unitary system may sometimes ignore peculiarities of each of the regions in public administration, and such situation may lead to maladministration. 4. Regional governments may remain less creative in the exercise of power because they know that such power is only lent to them, and the owner of the power can take it from them even without any previous formal notice. 5. It may attract despotism due to centralization of power at the center, in which the regions apply as praise that can be consumed by the central political authority. Study session summary. In this study session, we noted that unitary system of government only allows for the central authorities in the possession of the state power. Unitary constitution only recognizes the central government. Therefore, power is concentrated at the center. The regional governments enjoy only the power delegated to them by the central government. There are several features of unitary system, which includes centralization of political power at the center, making of laws for the whole country by the central parliament, amongst others. The system also has a number of advantages, but it is plagued with shortcomings. End of study session 8. Thanks for listening.